I know that I'm a bit behind in terms of like the days, because for the 15th and the 16th I actually prepared the work, but it's just that the data is a lot, and to compile it I have to take my time to also assess the analysis if it really is energetically coherent with the reality of each ascendant, right? Because as I said the last time, that I'm focusing on a few ascendants, not all ascendants, just 6. So that is from Aries until Libra. And it's also due 7 actually, and it's also due to the energy that I'm receiving on the channel because of the people who are active on the channel. But somehow inside me I feel like there are also Scorpio ascendants here. And so if you are a Scorpio ascendant and you're wondering where is the Scorpio ascendant analysis, so please do tell me so that I can know for sure that you are here, because I have many planets and asteroids in my Scorpio sign. So I sometimes feel like I relate or I understand Scorpios as well. So now obviously, because the 16th has passed for Europe as well as the East, but for Americans they still on the 16th. So some of the things that I'm going to say pertaining to the date of the 17th will also apply on the date of the 16th. So that's how you're going to read it. And now let's just get straight into the predictions in terms of by the way, I just want to say this whole period from the 15th and until the 22nd, there's so much care that needs to be taken, particularly for people who are in the leadership, for whether it's a government or in terms of companies or public figures. There is a whole lot of care that needs to be taken for sure, because there's so much instability and destruction that is coming their way. Because we must remember that we have the Ketu sign in the Leo sign. So right now at this moment, this is very heightened, that karma is coming to demand something out of those who are leading and who are in the public figure, celebrities. So, and some obviously depending on the chart pertaining to you as well. Everything that I say is like its gravity. It depends entirely on your chart. Like how much are you going to feel? What I'm talking about depends on your own chart, but generally globally these things should happen as as is. And particularly when I speak about physical manifestations of the things I'm talking about, then the ascendant is always the best way to look at. But then if I'm talking about mental things, for example, then you can also look at your moon sign and see. But then I also, for example, when it comes to the direction of how things are, you can also just see if your sun sign relates, because remember our souls are here through the sun, through our sun. So sun signs also are very critical and important in giving us the direction of our lives. So this is Mita, and welcome to Synastry Experts. So for the Aries ascendant, good things, many good things are still happening for you because of that Mars in Sagittarius. Like I discussed the last time, it really gives a whole lot of strength. It gives you a lot of oomph, and it gives you a lot of luck as well in your endeavors. You may also have this sense sensation of feeling like the chosen one, of feeling like you don't have to put too much effort in what you do. So this is very brilliant. This is very great. I do see that between the 16th, I'm still going to mention the 16th because it applies for the Americans or Canadians, like the west, the far west, it does apply. So I do see that from the 16th until the 19th here, there could be a need for you to take care of female figures in your family, or them wanting to care for you at this time. So there's that exchange of caring or advice, and in some instances it could also be professed as a manner of submission. That is, maybe there was a decision that needed to be taken, and now it is taken quite passionately, or with an intention to smooth things, to make things easier for each other. But what I also do see is that there could be quite high temptation at this time. So do mind that for the Aries ascendants, because I do see that there could be a bit of a fling happening, particularly the 17th here. This is very highlighted, and what I also do see, so between that period, between 17th until the 19th, there could also be some forbidden pleasures that your mind desires at this time. So do be careful, with cheatation, for example. So don't don't YOLO too much, because it's like every temptation will be at your service, and lots of secrets now are heightened for your life. So there could be some secrets that or even your partners know, so vice versa. So yeah, there's a lot of secretive things happening. And what I do see is that there could be some destruction that is caused by chasing excitement. So just be mindful about that. Don't just chase every sweet that you see and just want to taste every cake that you see. Be careful about that. And particularly if you're married, just enjoy all of these excitements with your spouse, because then this is the perfect moment whereby all these ideas of being wild, being naughty, just exploring and experimenting all pleasures of life, these are best times to be done with your spouse. You can role play, instead of chasing your fantasy. You can, use that fantasy with your spouse, with your loved one, instead of chasing the third party to give you the intimacy that is exciting or that looks exciting, right? Because you must remember that not everything that glitters is diamond, particularly between this 17th and the 19th, because right now the mind is literally just in ecstasy mode. And it could be also at this time very easy to think strategically, to think intelligently, but at the same time towards self fulfillment, towards self-enjoyment, towards self-pleasure, self-pleasing, right? And as long as, you know, obviously there's no third party involved, why not, you know? And but not too much, because addictions here are highly sensible right now for you. So yeah, be careful, because, you know, you may try something out of curiosity. You can try a drug, a beer or something, whatever, and then you end up really enjoying it at this time, and then, you know, you get want to have it and have it over and over until it becomes addiction. So just be careful about that. And I also do see that there is a danger that needs to be cautioned against, particularly when it comes to loved ones. So they could be like feeling something, you know, that is urgent, or you feel that urgency because of them, you know, or share it with them. And what I also do see is particularly now between the 17th and the 19th, you could feel that, you know, your efforts are not appreciated at this time. You could feel like you're putting a whole lot of work, like a whole lot. You're putting so much that you feel like, man, I'm not getting as much as I would have wanted to get. You know, everything is like softened, you know, it doesn't come as heavy as I would want to see the returns. And what I also do see is for those who go for swimming at this time, just make sure you don't swim at night, for example. And if you are swimming at night, you know, you just obviously be careful. Even if it's your pool, you know, just be sure you don't sleep and fall and all of these things. So you just take it, because these are the small things, or they seem small, but in reality they can be grave, like the result. So, you know, I also do see that as I said, you know, sometimes you could feel like you're putting a lot of effort and, you know, with only minimum results. So, you know, you could feel like, oh man, my friend, my spouse, you know, is betraying me, you know, by their actions, or maybe by not giving me back what I expect, you know. So there's that small well, I mean, depending on your chart, you know, for some people it could be small, for some people it could not be felt at all, and some people could be grave, whereby you feel like, I've been betrayed here, I've been backstabbed here, you know. And I do see that your spouse or your marriage life is really benefiting from you right now. Like, it's depending on your strength. You are like the backbone right now of your relationship, and your spouse too is also depending on you, you know, looking up to you, of you know, where to go, are you providing, or, you know. So there's that I see, and definitely quite a lot of sudden expenses that you are placing towards your family, towards your marriage, towards your spouse, you know. And maybe you also could be traveling at this time, you know, to your spouse, or, you know, because of your spouse or family or friends. I also see that. But there's a lot of investment and them kind of like depending on you right now. You are the backbone. Like I said last time, you have so much strength, and then, you know, a lot of people obviously, when they see strength, then they look up to that person who's very strong, who's strengthened, and you are the leader. You know, right now you are given the strength to lead, to achieve, to succeed, to literally cut down every tree that is in your way right now. So what I do see that on the 17th, there could be, well, 16th, you know, for the far west as well. So 16th, 17th, because today it is the 17th in France, and it is 4 o'clock right now. and it's actually 5 o'clock. I need to fix my watch. I just fixed my watch because I noticed that it was one day behind in terms of date, and therefore, and I think this is why I was behind as well with my work, because I didn't notice that actually my watch was bugging in terms of time. I mean, in terms of the date itself. So it is the 17th at 5 o'clock and in the morning. And so what I also do see is that yeah, I mean, there are expectations, of you. People are expecting stuff from you right now. Now, between the 19th and the 22nd, you are giving support all around. You are feeling support all around. There's a lot of assurity that you're feeling right now. There could be some recognition for some Aries ascendants, whereby they feel like, oh, finally my work is being recognized for, all the efforts. I feel like the spotlight is on me. I feel like people can see what I've been doing, what I've been achieving. I need also maybe to travel with my loved ones right now, or, go and travel and be with them, go to them, or they come to you, so there's that feeling of success that is here right now. You are vibrating power, you are vibrating warmth, you are vibrating drive, you are vibrating goals being achieved, or also you are in the state of knowing exactly what to plan for, how to get there. Strategy wise, you are now literally like so assured between the 19th and the 22nd. Now, when it comes to that whole period of the 17th until the 22nd, I do see that when it comes to the support, because like I said last time, you are literally on that horse of the Sagittarius. You have that arrow, you have that bow, you can see all the targets that you want to shoot at, and at the same time your efforts are actually well received right now. You are strengthened with being alert, like to see where to aim, how to target, how to pull the bow. You are guided, so for some people it could be literal guidance by somebody else, or some or social media, or a teacher. You are literally like guided. You feel like, oh my gosh, all the information I've been looking for, I'm getting all the guidance I've been looking for, to make sure I release this bow, this arrow towards the right target. You feel it, right? I also do see that even if there's a quarrel, you are able to smooth your way out of it, to talk your way out of it right now. So and of course you have to move, lots of movement. I'm seeing lots of movement for Aries. It could be physical movement or mental as well. There's just I'm just seeing your body just moving a lot. And for some, it's a movement by transportation, your vehicle. I see it moving a lot. I see, if you're taking public transport, I see you on the trains. You are moving. There's a movement. If you are inhibited maybe in one space, I see you physically moving up and down, pacing up and down. You can't sit down. You are not allowed to sit down. You need to take care of business, and you are strengthened to do that. You are able to see vulnerable points so easily right now. Like for you, this is like easy to do, and you feel like all of these supportive people are also just here to guide you, and so this is quite a very interesting time in terms of this. So now what I also do see between the 18th and and the 19th particularly is some a bit of aggression. So just make sure that all of that aggression is towards achieving your goals at this time, because I do see there's a lot of sexual drive as well. As I said, I see a whole lot of desire in terms of your physical needs right now. So I see a lot of aggression as well. So I would like you, all of that aggression, you don't send it towards other people in a forceful manner, whereby maybe you force yourself onto someone they don't want, but you in the mood, you in the high, you just want to release your tensions, your arrow, your in terms of finding maximum pleasure. So just make sure that whole aggression that you're feeling right now, and all of that movement that you're feeling right now, is towards making sure you achieve as much as you can for your marriage, you achieve as much as you can for your spouse or with your spouse, because you're really driven right now, right? You really are driven. And for some of you could also be thinking of your assets, like how do I divide my assets, who's going to get my assets, or how can I get maximum assets with my wife, and all of these, my husband, and all of these actions towards your inheritance and all of these things. So this is what I'm seeing right now between the 18th and the 19th. So I am hungry and I don't want to eat because it's so early in the morning, so I hope my stomach doesn't growl so much. All right, also you have the desire to eat as well. You just have those because I said maximum pleasure, so even what you're eating, you are just looking at just satisfying the self, the desire, the pleasure, all of that. And that means also when it comes to narcotics and alcohol, what you drink with your mouth, what you eat, everything must be done with care, and obviously what's the word, not too much, just normal stuff, right? And what I also do see between the 18th and the 19th now is as I said, some recognition is coming or may come to you, but also if you have not been doing good, or if you don't do good, if you have been bulldozing people because you have all of this strength, maybe you've been bullying people, you've been just misusing your power that you have because you are strengthened. So if you have been misusing that power, I do see for some there's a danger here to be embarrassed or to be judged, whereby you lose your position. Because remember, when we talk about the 9th house, we are talking about the law, the judgment, the high policies with the high courts, so just be mindful that if those things don't happen. So obviously it would happen for those who have not been good leaders, like who have been too bossy, too misusing their power. So there's that I see. I also do see that between the 18th and the 19th there is so between the 18th and the 19th, okay, because you have that Venus in your 8th house, and there could be also some sort of revenge here, because in Scorpio, so there could also be a form of revenge and that needs to be professed. or it is professed, and it is because or due to spouse or love relationship things. So there's that thing that you need to be careful about when it comes to this. I also do see, don't misuse your power, don't, that aggression you feel, make sure you also don't abuse your spouse, be aggressive towards your spouse right now, or those things, or you experience that abuse from your spouse. So there's that caution that needs to be taken when it comes to these things, and your physical body, even mental, because 8th house is psychological as well. So just see, you guys, you and your spouse, you and your loved ones, just need to make sure you don't play mind games as well, because of power there. So what I do see between the 20th to the 22nd, you need to watch what you say, because your words could be harmful at this time, or you yourself, you could have a family member saying something mean to you, or somebody from the neighborhood, they say something mean to you at this time. Maybe you go shopping and somebody so not happy, they just say some words. So just be careful of what is being said at these days, because when it comes to Mars and Sun together, they can be very unforgiving. So and as well, because again, as I said, you're strengthened, you're empowered. Just make sure that you don't wear other people down at this time, right? So I think when it comes to the Aries ascendants, that is it. And generally like the whole period from the 17th until the 21st, I do feel like, I do see that you are able to see threats coming far away. You're able to see threats and to stabilize them. So you have to take care, Aries. I'll catch you next time. So for the Taurus ascendant, when I was recording the Aries ascendant, I was so hungry and I didn't want to eat because it's still in the morning. But then after recording that one, I'm like, I'm really hungry, let me eat. So I've eaten, because Taurus is about food and being well fed. So just a bit of a funny starter. But anyway, when it comes to Taurus, now what I do see from this whole period between the 16th until the 22nd, remember I'm mentioning the 16th because it applies to Americans, but today it is the 17th. And what I do see is that from the 16th until the 20th, there is a whole attention onto your relationship or to your spouse, your partner, or from them. So there is this whole thing of, what is my relationship like? What am I doing? What needs to be done? Do I need a spouse? Or what's my marriage doing? How things are going? Literally, or if you are in business, then my clients, how can I improve my business with my clients? How can I improve how I'm seen by others? How I'm communicating with others? So this is what is literally your focus point right now. Partnerships, right? Things done ensemble, together. There is the whole vibe right now. So between the 16th until the 20th, I also do see that particularly between the 17th and the 19th, your mental state is literally zoned in, like tied in right now at this point of relationships and others, contracts, negotiations, all of these things, they just full on you. And of course it also talks about socializing. If we are talking about dealing with others, we're also dealing about socializing, talking with different people, just being out there. But I also do see it could also be about gathering intelligence. That means gathering information on your spouse, or your spouse is gathering information on you, about you. So there's that also, information gathering that I see right now, which could be later used, by the way, with some Taurus ascendants, because remember, it always at the end of the day boils down to your chart in terms of the intensity and in terms of the gravity and the scale to how things are, of the things that I say would happen. For some it's going to be very grave because of their own aspects, and then for some it's going to be lightly felt, right? But nonetheless it is applicable. Now what I do see also is that there's a reflection that is being done now on unclear points. So you could literally be mentally thinking about what is not clear in my relationship, my life, about with others, or what am I getting right. So you're reflecting a whole lot of unclear points, or you are noticing those points that this one is not clear, I don't understand it, I don't understand what's going on here, I don't understand why this person is acting like this, I don't understand why they're reacting like this. Those are the things that are really coming up right now. And what I do see is that between the 19th and the 22nd, here the information is being revealed. So whatever gathering you were doing between the 17th and the 19th, or even before in your life, but there's some information that is being revealed right now. And just be careful of ego battles, particularly with your loved ones at this time, because I do see some uncontrollable conflict here that could will be big for some people, big in terms of like very scathing, so that is possible for some people. But at the same time, this is an opportunity for healing. I do see that psychologically, mostly. I do see that for some people, they could feel like, oh my gosh, my psychological confusion is now being healed. I'm getting clarity. I'm seeing things now the way I've been looking. I'm getting the information that I've been seeking. I'm getting the results from my maths, from my 1 + 1, why, how, who, what, when. These are all coming to me now, right? So it means that your alertness is now forced upon you. You are forced to be alert now. You are forced to see reality. You are forced to see things as they are. And even if you don't want to deal with things right now, like you don't want to deal with reality, you are forced right now. Like you don't have a choice. Like you are forced to face reality. You are forced to face the truth about the people, about relationships, about your assets, about your ways of thinking, your ways of doing things. You are literally now placed at a position whereby you are you are stripped naked in terms of your vulnerability. You're feeling vulnerable. Actually, you're feeling vulnerable. Like I don't have a choice. I have to admit this. I have to see this. I have to see people for who they are. I have to see things for what they are. I don't have a choice, right? So for some, this is very healing. It's like a recovery, whereby maybe you've been under a lot of influence, friends' influence. You were influenced to do this, to do that, or you were just going astray by your own choice. But now the reality is like setting in. So this is what I see. Just be careful of self-destructing tendency, whereby you know, when a reality is too much to handle, you just now want to just, you know, destroy yourself, or, you know, stuff like that. Or maybe even some people, particularly male figures, boyfriends, they can be very aggressive right now. And, you know, they can be authoritative figures. They can be very aggressive right now, to the point that you feel like, I'm so tired, you know, of these people. I just want to withdraw, you know. Don't withdraw into sadness, withdraw into healing at this time, because this is what you're being given, so that whatever you see or you are faced to see, it is for your own awakening. This is a psychological awakening that is here, like whereby you get into a mental ward, mental psychiatry ward, not to join, you know, the psychosis, but to be able to awaken, so that you see that I don't have to be here in this place in my life for a long time. But at the same time, for some people, this is a good period between the 19th and the 20th to see or your expenses, and to also realize, you know, how much you can make, how much you can accumulate, particularly within marriage, within your spouse and partnership. So you can also see these things. So you are being helped to also realize the opportunities when it comes to your assets. So it's like a 50-50 thing. Now what I also do see is that there could be some individuals here who want to help you, but they want to help you to satisfy themselves. But because this is your chart, it could also be you too, whereby you offer your services, you offer your affection, you offer your love for self gratification, whereby you know that, you know, if I give this, I get that. If I give money, I get status. If I give love, I get to be praised, you know, those type of things. So there's that exchange here that I see. So it could be either for you or, you know, done to you. But, you know, as long as it's done, you know, in a way that everybody benefits, okay, why not, right? So I also do see that when it comes to the 17th until the 18th, so obviously from the 16th until the 18th for Americas, so for 16th until the 18th, what is very clear now is that there is or there are people, there's like a structure, like people that rely on you, and you yourself, you rely on them. So it could be in terms of resources here. It could also be in terms of provision of happiness. But there's definitely some codependency situation that I see, and it could also be unhealthy codependency. So just be mindful of those things. I do see that you could be having some artistic desire of expression. For example, some may be wanting to have a tattoo right now, like feeling like, oh, it's time to have my tattoo. And some should just be careful of not self-harm, like cutting themselves, you know, those things whereby they feel like they want to express themselves, like physically, or like expressing emotions physically. So there's that as well to just be mindful about. Now, what I also do see for this period of between 17th and the 19th. But okay, actually for the period of, let's say, the 18th until the 19th, at this time there could be some restlessness that you're feeling, which could also be accounted by being reckless, meaning that you're being reckless in terms of maybe you're having a one-night stand and you don't wear protection, or maybe you just feel like you want to have a threesome, whereby, and then in that threesome, somebody falls pregnant, and if it's like, there's like confusion of maybe who's the father, stuff like that, or maybe just contracting a disease that is transmitted through that action. So there's that recklessness that I see right now. So do cover up if you are in a not committed relationship, like whereby maybe you're just having fun and exploring. So do protect your area, your equipment that you work with. And what I do see is that now from the yes, also at that time of the 18th and the 19th, at this time you could have some a need to push towards your desires, like towards your physical needs, but also your material needs, because Taurus, they really value their material and possessions, and what you own, how much do I have, because Taurus is all about I have. So there also could be that now force whereby you feel like I need to collect as much resources as possible, and by any means possible, right? So just make sure that when it's about by any means possible, then you don't become too reckless that you get yourself caught, or you get yourself caught up in situations that could land you in jail, or that could land you in a even worse situation, right? So just be careful to plan with morality as much as you can at this time. So what I also do see when it comes to the 18th and the 19th, you could also be wanting to be recognized within your marriage, recognized by the opposite sex. There's this need of wanting to be validated right now. So it could be like a yearning, and sometimes it's not about being feeling less than or lacking self-esteem, but it could also be based on that, whereby you feel like you need reassurance, and therefore you go out, you expect people to compliment you, you expect your partner to reassure you, like, oh no, you look good, you good, you feel everything is good, like there's that thing. And because of chasing this validation, chasing this recognition, chasing this acknowledgement, some people then could be embarrassed, because these things happen, whereby then you don't really get what you wanted, but instead a rejection, or instead or an embarrassment, so just be careful about those things between the 18th and the 19th. Now when it comes to the 18th, actually that 2 days, the 18th and the 19th as well, at this time you could be feeling very passionate, because when you talk about Taurus, this is a Venus ruled ascendant. So passion comes so easily for you, like you express it so easily. And I do see that there could be, you know, some thoughts for some people to want to get back maybe at your spouse who cheated on you, and then you go and you sleep with somebody else, you know, for sake of revenge, like, you know, I'll show you back what you've done. I can also do it too. Or maybe, you know, forms of jealousy, you know, all those, you know, self-eating behaviors, right? So just make sure you don't fall victim to such things, right? And what I also do see is yeah, just definitely you know, really just take care of yourself here. And I also do see that actually between the period of the 19th now until the 20th, between the 19th and the 20th, yeah, for some people there could be a need to defend themselves, whereby you have to defend yourself. You feel like there's too much heat, you have to defend yourself. So I do see that it could be a psychological thing, it could be a physical intimidation, it could be like whereby you just need to stand yourself, like you have to defend yourself here. And just be careful at this time not to receive some deceitful advice, because I do see that some people could be giving you advice or communication, but then there would be lots of deceit behind what they say now. So if they are maybe they could like even promote you or condone you towards an action that in the end would hurt you, and they know that, but then you don't know, and they tell you go, do it, right? And then only then it gets to bite you. So yeah, so I do see that there could be some people who are, there would be higher ranking than you, like higher ranking, or people that you would normally respect, and at this time they are malicious, right? Malicious advice. So do censor all advice that you get now, or just wait until obviously the 22nd. So, you know, just this period, like this few days, 3 days, just take it in and see what they say, and okay, and then you decide thereafter. Particularly for those who are in real problems, like real life seeking positions, whereby maybe you want medical advice, or maybe you want psychology from your therapist, advice from, you know, your priest, from your astrologer. Just take the information in, and then after the 22nd you swift through it, and you're like, okay, you know, whatever, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, or whatever, right? So I also do see that between the 20th and the 22nd at this time, 22nd, yeah, at this time, between the 20, let me just see, between the 20 and the 22nd, because then that is your, so basically here, just be careful when it comes to what you say to your spouse, like with your mouth, what you say, because I do see here, because, you know, Taurus is ruled by the second house, or speech, it becomes very important. Talking becomes extremely important for Taurus. So yeah, conversation right now between the 20th and the 22nd could have a tone of being tough, tough love. So either you giving the tough love or you are receiving the tough love. So this is what I see. I also do see that when it comes to the when it actually this whole period of 17th, well 16th for the US, like 16th until the 22nd for Taurus ascendant, it's important that you, if there's conflicts and all of these things, you just use your charm, because Taurus ascendants are also charming. So just use your charm to get yourself out of the issue. I do see though that there could be moments whereby you feel like you want to cry, and some could also cry literal tears at this time, and a bit of anxiety. So just be careful of not to hold too much anxiety at this time. I also do see you would be wanting some loyalty. You wanting loyalty, or you are getting reassured about loyalty at this time. Definitely a vulnerable moment, as I already said, for Taurus ascendant. Now when it comes to the 20th, like on that one day, like on the 20th, on the 20th exactly, just that day, like one day. What I do see here, well, some people could be going to the 22nd, really. What I do see here is you are planning. So there's a plan that you're doing right now. Strategically, like you are using your strategic decipherment here. There's something you're thinking about, and it could also be actually how to get yourself out of a situation, or how to combat against some people. But as I said, obviously, just be careful of morality and all of these things, right? And what else am I leaving behind when it comes to Taurus? For Taurus, okay, so I do see that between that period of from the 20th now until the 22nd, so 20th until the 22nd for Taurus, that period, I do see that there could be a need to be alert, like something is triggering you towards being highly alert, highly awakened at this time. And it's so strange, because this is actually the day that I do see a fall of a prominent figure, like somebody who's extremely important in the world could fall. By fall, it could be a huge disgrace, or it could be a literal passing of somebody who's incredibly known or incredibly powerful, or maybe their spouse, and it would be between either the US, Iran, or France. So between these countries, or it could be like if it's happening in one country, then one of the other countries of these three is responsible or has a play in that. But anyway, I digress. So just between that period of the 20th and the 22nd, I do see also that you could feel like you're being misjudged for something, like you feel like you're being blamed, like somebody's just like throwing blames at you, and you don't understand, like, why me? Why did I do? Why do I have to face this? what is happening? Why? Like, I don't understand. Why me? Why do I have to endure this? And particularly when it comes to relationships as well. So there could be that agitation or that like misjudgment that is that you feel like is coming towards you right now, right? Like you just don't get it. Like, why? What did I do? Why do I have to endure such a thing, right? I also do see that you could feel like you need a massage as well. Maybe your back or your shoulders, they just feel like, oh man, I have too much just tension. That tension, I need to release it. I need to release this tension. So I also do see that actually just from the 20th to the 22nd, it's a day of managing things to not fall apart, managing as I said, relationships or possession. Just make sure everything is intact. And and of course it's about just neutralizing the situation right now. It is possible for some people to have or to feel some explosion mentally, and with some people it could be a physical explosion. When we talk about explosion, it could be like just maybe a huge release. Maybe you just cry out loud, or maybe some people, they go to the gym, they work so hard, but there's that need of just release, or maybe also impact, like whereby it's when you're driving a car and then it hits something, that boom, like that thing. That's what I see. So it's like there's a lot of tension that is being felt. Now when it comes to, I think I'm done. I think I'm done, because exactly like that period of the 22nd, this is the period whereby I just feel like for Taurus ascendants, everything must be managed. Like suffering and silence is also possible for some people here. You're just waiting for release. Thank you, Taurus. Now, when it comes to the Geminis, from the period of the 16th until today, the 17th, what I do see possible here is that there could be a lot of focus that is sent towards your projects, your children, your fans of if you are in the social media, social sphere, whereby you feel like you want to get support, or you are being supported by these people. And also I see that there could be a possibility of gaining some experience right now, or maybe you gain knowledge on something that you've been searching for. So it finally comes. It's like, ooh, okay, now I know how this thing works, or how to maneuver this situation. And it is also a superb time for even learning more and more new things. I do see a possibility of a contact with somebody. If it's not like literal information that you learn, it could be somebody who comes to you and they tell you something, or they teach you something that you didn't know before. Now, when it comes to the whole period of the 16th until the 22nd, I do see some adjustments here, or maybe some sacrifices whereby maybe you can't do a certain thing, then you opt for plan B, those type of situations. I do see that between the 16th and the 17th, today you could also be feeling that you need to devote yourself towards your children, if you're a mother, your father, or towards your home life, like gather things around, do stuff around the home, around the house. I also do see that between the 17th and the 19th, at this time, this is whereby like 17th and 19th, whereby something relating to health. It could be in your thoughts. Maybe you have to book for an appointment, or maybe for your child, or maybe your child gets cough and all of these things. I do see, but then some duty that is making you feel it, like to feel a bit of strain or a bit of dedication that you need to do. And between the 19th and the 22nd, this is whereby your relationship comes to shore now, like whereby you need to look at your relationship with your spouse. There's some conversations that need to be done, but at the same time, I also do see some possibilities of misunderstanding, or maybe a bit of an argument here and there with your spouse, your partner, particularly between the 16th and the 17th. I see some difficulty to hide your actions. So there are things that you are doing and you're trying to hide them, but you're finding it hard to hide it, so it's like you must reveal it, or you must reveal your actions. Or if it's somebody who has been hiding their actions against you, it's like it's difficult for that to be successful, right? They just get exposed, or you get exposed. So there's that knowledge, like finding out the information, so either about you if it's somebody else, or you about somebody else. So there's that possibility here. I also see you being passionate about what you do. It could be your creativity, it could be whatever endeavor that you do, right? I see some passion between the 16th and the 17th being really like that satisfaction of feeling like I'm happy with this, I'm happy I'm doing this, this is what I want to do, right? And what I also do see is obviously always just be careful of minor injuries, and being injured, wounded, those things. Maybe you cutting your veggies and those small things. Now I see that your spouse or your lover or whoever is intimate, somebody who's intimate to you, who's very close to you, is actually you sharing their burdens with them. This is a tough period that needs to be shared, and it's like you have to be here, you have to partage, you have to share what they are feeling. And I think it's something I said as well last time. So there's a bit of sacrifice here that you're doing. You are either sacrificing your time, you are either sacrificing your creativity, your work. Maybe instead of doing 10 hours, now you're doing 3 hours, so that the other 7 hours you dedicate it to this person who is close to you. So I do see some sacrifice that is being done, that you're doing here. And it is also in the name of devotion, whereby you feel like you are wanting to show the people that you care about that you really care. So you are physically manifesting your devotion, your dedication to these people. You're showing it, by action, because right now action for you is speaking louder than words. So this is what I see, and due to this, you could also feel that heaviness or some burdens, like, okay, this is too much. Do I really have to? You are self-analyzing the same time you're doing it, like, is this really necessary for me to suffer, because I'm also sacrificing so much, but yes, I have to. So you are balancing the scales, literally, seeing why you have to do all these things, all these sacrifices, for the ones you love, and you're getting the answers at the same time. So I do see that. I also do see you could receive a gift, or you could give a gift to your spouse, to your partner, particularly starting from the 15th. So some of you would have received those gifts already. So from the 15th, and which is a nice thing, obviously, which is a nice thing. There is from the 15th until the 19th, there's some planning that you're doing. I do see that. I do see you are busy. It's either you're planning for the future, or it could just be like normal planning for the week, or for or 2 weeks or whatever. But there's some planning which is going to intensify between the 17th and the 19th. Now, I do see that there could be some threat lurking, and it could be lurking due to a job situation, or maybe your profession. So there's a threat here. It could be coming from that angle, mostly your job, your profession. But also, what I also do see is a possibility that it could also involve a love situation. So yeah, just be mindful about that. And definitely, if you have known enemies, like you know that this person is my enemy right now, you definitely don't trust them. Sometimes there's a belief that you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Now you don't keep your enemies closer. For this period of the 15th and the 19th, you literally keep your enemies as far away from you as possible. You don't keep them closer, but when you're keeping them closer, you have obviously to manage them, to control, to make sure that they don't come closer. So for an example, if you are in a situation whereby somebody's stalking you, or somebody's just has been bothering you, or maybe threatening you because maybe your beliefs are not the same, this is whereby you could also seek justice system to interfere, because you have to manage any threat during this period for sure. What I also do see is you are highly aware of the dangers that are around you. So this is why you literally have to push your enemies, not put them closer this time around, and take necessary action. Like taking action becomes extremely important. And what I also do see is you're really planning. The thing is that because this is your chart, because you're planning, your people who are problematic normally towards you, they are also planning, particularly for those who are dealing right now with custody battles, with legal battles, or maybe with your lover, maybe you're divorcing. This is the time whereby you literally have to be cold in your calculation, whereby you just think for your own good here and what will be good for in general for you. Because I do see that if you don't manage and you get softened up, with somebody, they talk you out of your planning here. It could backfire. So you need to be really high on your planning. Taking decisions, being decisive is very critical and important for you now. But on the good side, you are able to deal with a lot of things that are bothering you in terms of healing. So maybe if you feel like a joint is maybe your wrist is painful, you are able to know what to do, which exercise to do, which medication to go for, or maybe you are quick to act on going to the doctor, to see a doctor, hospital. And even with your daily stuff, even though you are dispersing your time between you, sacrificing yourself between you and your loved ones, but you're able to get on top of things. You are feeling like, I'm making progress, I'm doing 1, 2, 3. I can see that even with the pressure, I'm able to see results here. So this is very nice and very good. Now what I do see between the 17th until the 18th, at this time there could be that there could be some situation that you feel heavy about, like it could be a responsibility as well, whereby you feel like maybe my bills are piling up, or this problem is just becoming bigger, but at the same time I need to find a way to control it. So you are on your toes towards controlling problems that are coming up, things that are just coming out of nowhere as well. And what I do see is strength, like you're feeling like, okay, fine, I have these problems, I have these things that are coming up, but I'm feeling strong to handle it, to manage this weight that has been given to me. I'm able to endure, I'm not backing down. I can't back down. And I do see that there is a secret. A secret is either a secretive technique or something that you learned, a skill that you learned, to which sometimes you don't, you choose not to use. So it could be something that is also questionable, that skill that you learned, and then you just waiting for the right moment to use it, and out of desperation. I do see that you could also be thinking about those things. Should I take this shortcut? Should I do this, to get away from this? But at the same time, you don't want to lose the strength that you have, or to fold to enemies, right? There's that thing. So you just keep on doing your duties the way you're supposed to do them in your daily life, making sure that you are just a servant of yourself and those that are around you. Now, when it comes to the period of the 17th until the 22nd, just be mindful here about your thigh area, that whole leg area around your thighs, your hips here, or maybe you could just notice something about it, like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm gaining some weight, on this area. So there could be that. But yeah, definitely you need to just make sure you don't let your mind wander too much, whereby you just feeling hopeless, or you asking questions so much, like, why me? Why do I have to face this? Why do I have to take on these responsibilities? Why do I have to give for free of my time, of my efforts, and all of these things, right? So there could be some lingering sorrow that you just need to be careful about, because sometimes you could feel like you're being loyal to a certain individual, maybe your spouse, and you're feeling some disappointment, and or maybe you're not getting the response that you've been waiting for quick enough, right? I do see that. So yeah, just be careful about that even if you cry, it's all about crying because you must cry, because I do see some weeping, some crying for a lot of Gemini. So it could be because you cry because maybe you miss your friend, you cry maybe because you think about somebody who's passed on, but I do see tears, literal tears coming out of your face, out of your eyes. But at the same time, you are able to find ways to stay healthy, because your nervous system, when it comes to Geminis and Virgos, the nervous system becomes very important, very critical. So I do see that your nervous system needs to be relaxed most of the time. So you will find ways to relax it, you'll be able to see that. Now, I also do see that even if there's a quarrel that is coming up, between your relationship or your loved ones or the colleagues, you'll be able to also sort those things out right now. So what I can say about Geminis is that you are feeling very ready. It's like you are ready. That's how I can describe this period. You are ready. It's like, I'm ready, I'm ready to face n'importe quoi. I'm ready, right? And at the same time, what I also do see is that there could be a lot of complacency. As I said, you are thinking, you are planning, you are deciding, why me? Do I have to do this? Do I have to serve this person? So there's a lot of complaints, but at the same time, you are doing everything to keep harmony. So, to keep a harmonic relationship between you and other people. Now, between the 19th and the 20th, maybe some of you could need to stretch today, like in these 2 days, like stretch, do a muscle work, work on your body physically here. Because for some Geminis, I see some bottled up emotions here. So there are emotions that, as I said, maybe it could be coming from you giving so much of yourself or doing so much for other people, and you're feeling all of these emotions bottled up. So I do see that, and the best way is to really just to talk about the issues. That's what you need to do between the 19th and the 20th. You must talk. You must literally talk, because what I do see is the more you keep the emotions hidden of how you really feel or what you really think, it becomes sickness for you. Because we must remember that the Mercury for you is in the 6th house of illnesses and disease, like illnesses, like feeling sick. So the more emotions you keep, the more you become sick so easily between the 19th and the 20th. So do be mindful, and generally throughout this whole period, be careful for your health. Mercury in Virgo, in the 6th house. But anyway, you will get better. You will feel better, because this is the house originally owned by Mercury. So do be mindful about that. Now, I do see that between the 19th and the 20th, if you have been looking for which medication I should use right now, you could get information. Maybe you've been sick for some time, or maybe you're taking care of somebody. It would be easy on these days to know which health treatments to go for, to opt for. So you are intelligent today to know the healing ways and how to heal the body, either for you or for somebody else. Now, just be careful, don't strain a muscle as you exercise and you move around and all of these things, right? So I do see that. And what I do see is be careful as well of giving or receiving bad advice when it comes to health and when it comes to solving your issues, because I see this, it could be mostly towards a spouse, whereby you advise your spouse, oh man, eat this or eat that, and then it turns out it's not good for them, right? So yeah, but as I said, you are able to also find the right medication, but everything must be done cautiously with thinking and intelligence for it to remove all possibilities of mistakes. So this is what I see. I also do see that between the 19th and the 20th as well, there's some mystery that you have to solve here. So it could be in terms of a message whereby you're thinking, how do I word this? As I said, those bottled up emotions, you could be asking, how do I word this? How do I say? Because I have to say what I need to say, right? So be strategic in messaging somebody or in communicating with people right now, and remove the fear. And I also do see a bit of you sense a delay. It could be just you sensing it, that there's a delay in what I'm doing or in what I'm expecting. Or it could be a real delay, whereby maybe you have to travel from for your job, maybe from one point to another point, and now there's a delay in traffic. All of a sudden they cancel the train. If you're taking the train, they cancel the subway. Oh, it's not, what is subway? Station, right? I don't know. They cancel the whatever train, or maybe your car, you run out of gas, out of petrol, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to make a detour to go and fill up my car, or maybe I need to go and fill up tires. Speaking of that, I need to go fill up my tires. So there could be those things, right? That could be making some sort of disruption or causing a delay in what you're doing, And sometimes it could also be in forms of messaging, whereby you're trying to send a message to your partner, to your lover, and they say, but I didn't get it. Or you look at your phone, it's in the draft. So there's that as well. Now, what I do see also is that just be careful of scams or people scheming. And of course these would be you would be able to know these things because of your Lord Mercury being heightened right now, right? Even if you feel like some paranoia creeping in, you would quickly be like, no, this is the reality, this is what's happening. Now I do see that between the 20th and the 22nd, here this is basically just generally a time that you would be focusing on your relationship and spouse here generally, and just be careful of arguments with spouse here, with partner, because I do see some sort of an argument coming up whereby you need to maybe also clarify what you are if things are not clear. Like if you're not married, you've been dating, you're like, what are we doing here? And we are, so just be careful of those arguments, and maybe breaking up for if the relationship was not clear. You don't know, are we dating, are you my boyfriend, are you my girlfriend? I don't know. All right, so I also do see that within this period you need to be flexible when it comes to your relationship, or you could be expecting your partner to show some flexibility towards your needs here, right? So this is what I see. I do see that if their arguments are not controlled, they could be too much. So everything must just be done with a desire to be fair. So that's what I see. I also do see that, yeah, there's protection that you feel is coming from your spouse. It's either you're feeling like they are protective or they are controlling, between the two, depending on your chart. You could feel like, okay, I'm feeling protected, or you could feel like, this is beyond protection, this is control. She or he wants to control every single thing in this relationship. So there's that need of, it's too much control here. I need to stand up for myself, to take control of my situation, of my direction here, and not be told what to do, how to do, right? So, and that's what I see. I also do see there could be opportunities presenting themselves to you now between the 20th and 22nd. And, it could also be in terms of like knowing the best solutions that you have, whereby you feel like luck is coming your way, or is also coming through your partner. And, there's that feeling of opportunity coming. So do take advantage of that, definitely, for sure. And so I think for Gemmies, I think that would be it, actually. So thank you, Geminis. Okay, so now when it comes to the Cancer ascendants, what I see for the period between the 15th, I'm saying the 15th because maybe you would have felt this already, and so until all the way to the 22nd. But today, remember, it's the 17th, but I'm also talking about the 16th, particularly for the US or the Canada, because they're a few hours behind, or they would have felt some of the things. And until the 22nd. Okay, so the most focus here is about fixing something. Like there is this thing relating to home life, or to your domesticity, or to your property, that is just not going away. Like it's not going away. It needs your attention, whether it is maybe you're running the business from home, but there's something that is not going away when it comes to your home life, your property, your assets. Is literally something that it won't move. It's needing your attention day in and day night, and you could feel some hindrance, particularly the 15th and the 17th. These are the things whereby you could have really felt this happening, like between the 15th and the 16th, like what the hell, I'm doing this, it's just, it's taking my whole attention here. But at the same time, I do see some fond memories or conversations with motherly figures within your house. Maybe that just the environment at home, whereby you feel comfortable, you feel comforted regardless of this whole situation that you are dealing with. And I also do see that you're able to stay calm, very calm throughout your situations, and at the same time there is some wisdom that you are getting, or you are garnering from other figures. So it could be foreign figures, it could be people who are very far from you, or you could be just scrolling your phone and you see something, or you come across an account that talks to you, that really inspires you. So I do see that arriving for you, particularly the 15th and the 17th. Now, when it comes to the 17th until the 19th, there is an important heart-to-heart conversation that you need to have right now. And this conversation, it could be about expressing your love, your affection, or somebody is expressing their emotions, their expression towards you. But it's very intense, and it could also be, in a way of, creativity, whereby there's a romance, involved. If it's lovemaking, the lovemaking that is made from home is intense. You feel every single touch on your body by this person. Like, you feel from the tip of your head to the tip of your nose as they touch you. You are feeling all the sensations very heightened right now, and it's like you're making love with your partner, with your spouse, and it's just going straight to your heart. You are literally swallowing all the emotions straight into your heart. You are feeling their body on you. It's like everything is just intense. Every movement, every rhythm, every detail is becoming what's the word, inscribed on your memory, on your heart memory. It's intense. It's passionate. You feel it. This is what I'm saying here. But at the same time, this intensity is also about, it could also be about your home, whereby when you look at your home, you feel proud, you feel this comfort, you feel like, I feel at home, everything is so good, I feel comforted, I feel my family loves me, I'm proud to be of this family too. Every feeling is just intense and intensified. You're feeling grateful. But then what I do see now, from the 19th and until the 22nd, there is some agitation that creeps in. It's like you're feeling stress. There's some stress now. It's like, oh man, what is going on? What is this? Your mind is being volatile right now. You feel like, I need to defend my stance right now. Why am I finding myself in a situation whereby I have to defend what I think, or my expressions, or or my ideas? Why am I put in this situation now? So that means also be careful of conflict, getting into conflicts with your spouse, with your loved ones, with your people that you value, and that you have relations with, maybe a business, it doesn't matter, business or intimate, and there could be some tendencies now between the 19th on the 22nd of some manipulative ways. So obviously, when we talk about manipulation, we're not talking about just one person being manipulative to us. We're also talking about us also being possibly the manipulative ones, right? So just be careful not to be in that situation, or to bring that situation for somebody else. Now, there's this worry that I see as well. So it could be some about your kids, like, what do they need? What do they need for Christmas? Which gift should I buy? There's some attention that is like bothering you. So it could be a minor bother, or it could be a big bother, depending on your chart, when it comes to the scale. So basically, I do see something pulling your emotions back right now. But you need to talk to your spouse, definitely, because I do see a high possibility of your spouse suffering right now, okay? And you being the stronger part to offer help, or to talk to them, to soothe them. But your spouse right now really needs you, and they might be struggling with something. As I said again, the scale it depends on your chart. It could be big suffering, or it could be just a small hiccup. I also do see some confrontation with an authoritative figure that must be done or will be done or has to be done around the 19th and the 22nd. It could also be about maybe resolving your administrative things with the government or stuff like that, but there is a contact, either obviously by paper-wise or maybe direct, with an authoritative figure now, because there is also a need for their aid, for their help. As I said, maybe you need to submit something to the government so that you get something in return, or maybe you need to solve something with your boss or for your boss, something. There's a contact with somebody who's of a higher status than you right now. So this is what I see. So that is like between the 19th, between the 19th and 22nd. Yeah, and then from the 17th until the 19th, actually from the 17th until the 22nd, but then from the 19th until the 22nd it will be intensified. So this whole period of 17th until the 22nd, I do see that there is wrestling. There is some wrestling. So it's either wrestling with your thoughts or wrestling with a problem that you need to solve. As I said, there's something at the home that you need to give attention to. But then now, between the 19th and the 22nd, there's intensification of this wrestling with this problem or with this somebody, or with your emotions as well. So there's that thing. So please, I ask the Cancer ascendant to not inflict harm on yourselves at this time, and it could be subconscious or conscious. Just don't do such things. And of course, I also do see you, or particularly around the 19th and the 22nd, but as I said, it could also be felt between the 17th and the 19th, whereby you need to be careful of not getting into maybe too much problems, maybe too much taking too much risks, stuff like that, right? So I do see that coming, and particularly as well the 17th and the 18th, actually this whole period, 17th until the 22nd. Okay, so and then now there are people who are helping you, and these people, they are helping you in a very discreet way. So they are literally, they're not known by others, but you're getting your help from them. So it could be in terms of maybe spirituality, if you are spiritual beings, whereby you talk to God, and God is instructing you, do this, do that. Or maybe literally you have advisors that are hidden, people don't know about, maybe an astrologer that is so far away, or maybe a psychic, or but I do see help coming from hidden people. People don't know about it, but you have access to those people. And at the same time, I do see that they are able to comfort you in times of trouble. Particularly this week, whereby maybe you could also feel a bit weak, and whereby you feel a bit sorrow, you just go straight to that source. If you're praying, you pray, but you feel so comforted. And advised and guided. You feel like your problems can be eased by these secretive people, or these people that you prefer to hide from others, or they are naturally hidden by maybe being in another country, in another state, but they are your strength right now. And that is because you do have the Jupiter in your 12th house. So that's what I say. And they're very loyal to you, or you loyal to them. So there's some loyalty that I see being a huge protective trait here. So this is what I see. Now I also do see that when it comes to the, so again, like the 17th and the 19th, so 17th to the 19th being not felt so good, and the 19th 22nd being felt really felt, particularly the 20th until the 22nd. I do see here some moral decision that you have to take. So it's either, maybe it could be small, like, man, I know I need to take from my savings to buy this gift for my kid for Christmas or something like that, but that questions your morality. So obviously the scale depends on your chart. As I said, it could be so small to the point, that you're just sacrificing your savings, for a gift, or it could be a huge one whereby your whole morality is being placed at a questionable part here. But you need to take a decision. You need to be ruthless about it and just take it and do it. Now, you do have here an intention. So I do see a high intention between the 22nd and the 20th and the 22nd. There's something you want to achieve. Your intention is super high right now. Your vision is highly clear about what you want to achieve, and you're being strategic, which is absolutely necessary. You're being very strategic right now towards achieving those things. And sometimes it could also be monetary, like your goals are very monetary wise, whereby you think, how can I come up with a solution, come up with an idea that will give me the maximum profit, maximum result that I can get. So as I said, depending on your chart, then that morality could come in, whereby the risk that you take is so high that you have to pay it with your morality, or stuff like that. So but then there's a force now towards going that direction for many ascendants of Cancer. I do see that you will not be able to tolerate any of your obstacles or enemies right now between the 20th and the 22nd. You are just like you don't want to tolerate any nonsense. You don't want to tolerate any nonsense these days. I do see that when it comes to when it comes to 20th, let's say 20th until 22nd, right at this time. Yes, okay, yeah, at this time I hold on, 20th, 22nd. Yeah, there could be something about health. So something relating to health here that needs your attention. But I mean, it could also be a recovery from a wound, or a recovery whereby maybe you feel like, oh, this is done. Oh, I was coughing. Oh, now it's finished. Or maybe I need to just take care of this. Or it could be a bill, as I said. Maybe you feel like, oh, my bills are too much, and but then you need to take care of it. That's what I see. I also do see that when it comes to the 20th and the 22nd, you are waiting to get an order, or you've received an order. You've been told to do this, do that, and now you are weighing how to go about it, to doing it, to achieving that target, or you are looking for the target itself. And you know what, it's so funny, because that I see that there could be a possibility of receiving a warning particularly for those who, giving a warning. So maybe you are in the leadership position, you give a warning to somebody like, watch out. Watch out. So I do see some warning happening here, particularly and mostly probably from you. Or maybe you sense that somebody's action is a warning to you. It's giving you a warning. But there's your heightened involvement here when it comes to this warning that I do see now. When it comes to the 20th and the 22nd, don't be too yelling at your kids. Don't yell too much at your kids. Or maybe if you are maybe you are an influencer or a celebrity, don't be tough with your fans at this time. That's what I see. Don't there's some toughness that I see towards these types of people around you, and mostly about what you say. Yeah, that's what I see. Yeah. So that is it for the Cancers. Thank you, Cancer. So when it comes to the Virgos, now what I do see from the period between the 16th until the 22nd, remember the day today is the 17th, but I'm mentioning the 16th because the far west is still on the 16th, Canada and the US, some of the US, they already in midnight time. Because right now it's 7 o'clock, I've been like recording since 5. So what I do see for the Virgos coming up is you're feeling harmonic, like what you do is feeling harmonic with what you think most of the time. Like you feel like, okay, I'm gaining an idea of what I'm doing is relating to what I want to do. I'm not feeling forced. So this is between the 17th and the 19th, whereby you feel like, okay, I have an idea, I know how to get to do it, how to get to a solution. Everything is feeling easy. I feel supported, and I do though see that there could be some disputes that do come up between the 17th and the 19th, and at the same time some short travels are stressful to you, or you feel annoyed, like when you are running an errand, you feel like, ugh, this is annoying, why do I really have to go and do this, right? But then there's that short traveling that needs to be taken and you're really not enjoying it. I do see that you need to be careful, if you're having disputes of hurtful words, either from you or, to you, so there could be that. And I also do see some charged emotions and conversations, but these are necessary. They are very necessary conversations that need to be had, but then there could be some emotions that do come up as well. But generally, there should be a very good time to find solutions even about your emotions, whereby when you self-reflect, you really get to understand yourself, understand other people. So this becomes quite important and quite useful in that way. And even that expression of emotions, whereby if you have to express how you feel to somebody, you find a way to do it. You know how to do it. You're strategic, but then agitation is definitely here due to the moon being in your third house right now. It's obviously these conversations are with the loved ones or close, like friends, family. So that is what I see. I do see that inner hurt that is felt must be expressed for sure. And just be careful of a headache. Maybe you could feel like on between my eyes I feel a bit heavy, or just my head feels a bit heavy. I'm tired, I need to take a nap. So I do see some sort of those things. But you are very careful. I also see that you are extremely careful of what you do, how you do things, and that care is definitely required, particularly from harming with hands or being harmed by hands, so yeah, that's visible. I see that between the 19th and the 20th, this period is not really so favorable, in terms of having everything running smoothly here. I do see some attention, obviously, that needs to be given to your home life, your domestic life, your properties at this time, because the moon is going to be in your 4th house. However, I do see a need maybe for maintenance of your vehicle, particularly whereby maybe you need to either clean it or take it for maintenance, or something is bothering and you just need to have it done, have it checked. It could also be about the machinery within the household, machinery, anything that's machinery, your electronics, something needing your attention here. And I do see that you are looking for support from family members, but at the same time, you could also feel like, there's some hostility within the home, some hostility, some hostile, uncomfortable environment, but you're looking for comfort, you are looking for it, you are looking either to give it as well, so there's that. I do see that between the 18th until the 19th, at this time you need to be careful if you're driving your vehicle for sure. So when you drive, just be careful that even if you are leaving your home, particularly for those who stay in environments that are not always safe, just make sure you lock your home, the doors are locked, so that I do see a need for taking care, because some people could be reckless, regarding to their belongings, to their source of comfort, source of conveniences. There's some recklessness that I see there. So and I also do see that between the 18th and the 19th, there is there's some like a preference, like you could prefer maybe comfort over maybe sacrificing something at home. Maybe what's the probable example? Maybe you could, maybe you've been wanting to buy a couch, for an example, a certain couch for a very long time, and now you feel like, you need to sacrifice and, to get it. So there's some sort of sacrifice that I see that you need to do to upgrade. So there's an upgrade that you're looking to do, or you're looking to achieve, so this is what I see. And I also do see that when it comes to the 18th and until the 20th, and this time, as I said, be careful of the home environment. As I said, I see some hostility there within the home environment that continues. Like I said the last time, so that continues. So just be careful around with your family, with your home. Revenge, those type of environments. I see lots of vengeful family members, people being obsessed about what they own, whose this is it my house, your house, are we sharing the house, why are you driving my car? I see that possessive thing, obsessing over stuff. And just be careful, no fights, within the home, and I do see that also at that same period, I would say, oh my gosh, okay, so maybe this already has started, because I mean, it's the 17th today. Yeah, so it's the 17th today, and some of you might have seen or might have felt this already, whereby you feel like your joint is painful, like your hands, or maybe you need to stretch, like, you know, just stretching a bit here and there, like, okay, you know, yeah, loss of strength, loss of will, loss of strength. So okay, so you really need to be strong now, you know, particularly the 16th, 17th, of course, you know, this is the last day. And then from the 17th until the 18th, because now this is like tomorrow, so from today until tomorrow for the Virgos. Okay, so at this time I see that you need to stop idealizing. Yeah, that's how I can say, stop idealizing, or refrain from idealizing situations or people whereby you overvalue some people, or you over rely on certain individuals, because I do see that there's an over reliance on each other. So either you on somebody or them onto you. So there's that structure of over reliance that has been built, that I see here. And this is with the family. I mean, of course, our families are naturally, you know, our people here to rely on. But it's like, sometimes it's like you need your independence, or your to feel like you can explore by yourself, you know. But then there's that restriction that is depending on the structure of over reliance that is being made, or that has been created here. So this is what I see. I also do see that between the 18th and the 19th, at this time, there is yeah, it becomes just the best day to talk about issues with particularly with the male figures in your family. If you've been having issues, you know, this could be a good day to settle it out with those male figures, to use you know, some of your words and your charming wisdom to really solve issues here, misunderstandings that would have appear, or that appear, you know. Just make sure you're able to give or take the good advice. But also just be careful in general. For as I said, you know, hostile environment, you know, somebody could just say a word that is not really encouraging. But generally, I do see that you could be seeking to get comfort, and most of the time, you know, you will get that comfort with a lot of push. That's what I do see. Now when it comes to the 20th until the 22nd, now this is that time I talked about, whereby, you know, challenges are coming and, you know, stuff. I do see at this time that you could communicate, or there's a communication that is a bit ego crushing, particularly because, you know, this is, when you talk about communication, we're talking about both of the Mercury ruled ascendant, so it becomes quite critical and important for you. And it could be communication that is meant to tear down somebody's strength, somebody's courage. But at the same time, this period is high for strategizing, like planning on how to achieve something, but quietly. You don't tell anyone, you just work alone in your corner there, and you get your plans, your designs done. Everything is on paper, everything is planned on Excel. You're gonna do this step, after this process I'm gonna do that, after this I'm gonna do that. Like your intelligence is extremely strategic, particularly with the Mercury also in the 3rd house. Gosh, the plans that could come out of your mind right now between the 20th and the 22nd. Whoa, and wow, right? Now, when it comes to your profession or maybe your boss at work, I do see that, there could be some sort of tension there, some sort of tension whereby you don't necessarily agree with what they say you should do, right? You can see that, this is not a good idea. Why are they telling me to do this, right? So there could be that thing whereby now it's like, psychological planning, like how do I work around this, because it's not a good idea, or it's not a good plan. But they could also be annoyed with you as well, feeling like you want to do your things alone, you don't want to take their advice, you don't want to take their help. They see you just wanting to veg off onto your own path, with admirance, like they're admiring it, but at the same time they feel like they could help you, but you just not making yourself available to garner that health, to garner the ideas that could actually help you and shape you, right? So there is that misunderstanding. So when it comes to advices that are gotten whereby you could sense danger, or they sense like danger towards your actions and what you do. So there's that dangerous counsel situation that I see between actually this whole period between the 17th and the 21st, because remember when we talk about knowledge and information, this is a mercurial thing, and for Virgo it becomes extremely highlighted, right? So another thing that I see coming for Virgos the 20th until the 20th until 22nd is expecting too much out of your partner, or they expect from you too much, like to use your power, to use your strategies and resources. So there's a resource that is needed to achieve a goal, or to achieve a skill that is needed, and it could involve obviously the finances or the resources of the spouse, or their competence as well. Maybe you want to achieve a business or something, and then you feel like you want to use the skills of your partner, like you want to access their knowledge and stuff like that, right? So you feel like, okay, I can ask them advice. I know if I do, I get to succeed, right? I also do see that when it comes to the Virgo, let me see. Yeah, there's that link between home life and the authoritative figure. It's like they can help you achieve something at home, but you are busy doing your own thing, just busy in your own world, if I can say. So there's that distance that is making you lose out on information. You feel like, it's deceptive information, or, it's information that could be deceptive, and they feel like you're doing your own thing, you are not available. Oh, yeah, that's what I see. That's what I see for Virgos. And I think for Virgos, I leave it here. Thank you, Virgo. And what I do see for Libras for the period between the 16th and the 22nd, remember the date is the 17th. However, I'm mentioning the 16th because, in the US is still the 16th and Canada is still the 16th. So I am mentioning those times or dates for relevance. And okay, so basically what I do see, you continue to rely on your family or benefit from your family members, extended family. And this is between the 17th and the 19th, 16th and the 19th. And at the same time, you could also be required to give something back now to them. Like a family member could be calling you and asking that you contribute to them, maybe your time, your finances, but there's something that you also need to contribute. So there's a mutual reliance now, within the family structure. And I do see that when it comes to the 19th until the 22nd, these days you feel motivated. There's a motivation that you feel towards something you've wanted to do for a long time, or even your activities, what you do. If you have a business, you are feeling motivated to travel, to go sell your products. And there's also some aggression that you're feeling as well at the same time because of this. Now, what would be, some people, you need to register some papers. Maybe you're registering your business, but there's some paperwork that also needs to be done right now. And just be mindful of conflicts, because with Moon in the 3rd house, there's that conflict that arrives, so just be careful. And at the same time, actually, you're hoping to gain some support from other people. This is what I see. But there is some disruption in your efforts now. So you feel like there is something that is disrupting you or distracting your attention from giving full maximum towards what you want to do or what you want to have achieved. So there is a feeling of feeling isolated. This is what I see for most Libras. Remember, the results in terms of the scale and gravity depends on your chart, but this is what is felt. There is a sense of feeling isolated, whereby you feel like you're being isolated from your reality, and you are being forced to focus on people who are forcing you, towards their own goals, their own vision, their own direction right now. So this is what I see. And also, even with the decision making, you could feel like you're being over empowered, like people are taking decisions on your behalf, or they're not listening to your suggestion towards making decisions. So there's that feeling that I see here. And those who give you advice, they want to gain something as well from your effort. So maybe they are asking you to do ABC, but then it's for their project, it's for their own satisfaction, whereas you do the hard work, you do the giving, you do the serving, but towards somebody else's bucket, and not your own bucket, right? So I do see that also between the 17th and the 19th, by the way, before what I do see, with that family, mutual family thing, I do see there's also some arrangements that are being finalized. Maybe you and your family members had decided to do something together, and now you're finalizing those plans. It could be plans about Christmas, deciding whose house you're having Christmas, but I do see some finalization of plans between you and your family members, arrangement of something, could also be arrangement of process, structure, how to do things, but you are really finalizing stuff between the 17th and the 19th. Now when it comes to the 18th and the 19th, now this is what I see. There is again, as I said, there's a friend, they are friends of friend, there's a friend of friends that could entice you towards losing your focus here, or you naturally follow their lead because you trust them, you trust that they know what they're doing, and because of that, you lose your sense of self or your sense of direction. You become reckless here, so whereby you lose your free will. This is what I see, by relying maybe on somebody they know too much, or they know more than you, but because you are not in tune with yourself, then you lose a bit of sense of direction. So just be careful about that. I also do see that between the 19th and the 20th here, I do see, just be careful of dangers by hand, because your Lord of the Ascendant will be on the 3rd house, so be careful of stabbing, or people stabbing each other, or cutting using a knife at the kitchen. Be careful, those things. So I also do see here that when it comes to the same period, so when it comes to the 17th until the 19th, 17th until the 19th, as I said, you could be trusting some people who are higher than you in status, who are more knowledgeable than you, and because you want to keep harmony with them, you just do. Just be careful not to give too much to the point that you're tired, you're feeling exhausted, like physically you're feeling exhausted, like, oh man, I need to rest. So if you do feel that, just go and rest. That's what I can say. And I also do see that between now, the 19th and the 20th, at this time, between the 19th and the 20th, you could learn a thing or two from somebody so maybe those friends that know more than you, or maybe on social media, like I said for the Cancer, I think. So there could be some available knowledge that is helpful to you, maybe even about fashion, how to do your makeup, basically self-help. You gain self-help now. There's some knowledge that you gain that will help you. But and maybe you could also make a mistake in trying to apply the knowledge that you have on something, and then you make a mistake. Let's say maybe you had learned how to cook, right? And then you finally say, okay, I'm going to cook this type of a dish, and then you make a mistake. So there are those errors that I see that you could make trying to apply your skill onto something. So that's just something that I see. And of course, it's learning by doing, really. It's learning by doing. I do see that there could be some mutual respect towards a spouse or with a spouse right now. So there's a mutual respect that I see at this time. Now when it comes to the 20 until the 22nd, this is the time to make sure that you know what you're talking about. and most probably you may speak out of turn, whereby you plan a communication, but then it comes out as childish, or it comes out as uninspiring, or maybe lacking motivation. Or you could also sense that from other people, whereby you feel like what they're trying to communicate to you is quite offensive. So there's some finding offense in communication at this time, and because of this you could also be feeling a bit guarded, but generally between this period of the 17th or 16th until the 21st, I do see that usually people who have knowledge, they are really empowered to help you right now. And there's just you guys need to find a way to get to each other, or to listen to each other, or maybe you need to be more train yourself to listen what they say without finding offense, or without being offended by what they're saying, or stuff like that. I also do see that between the same period of the 20th until the 22nd, at this time, communication, driving, careful when you drive. Where for a lot of people, actually, because this is a period of just agitation, when it comes to the Sagittarius sign hosting Mercury. Mercury is about transportation, and also Sagittarius is about traveling and voyaging, going from one place to one place. So there's naturally the agitation between the Sagittarius sign in hosting Mercury. So quite a lot of mishaps in communication and traveling. So you too, you also need to just be mindful and be careful because of that. I also do see that when it comes to same period, 20th until the 22nd, because I'm looking at the moon right now, when it comes to you, I would say just make sure that you don't suppress too much of your anger. If you are feeling angered, or aggression, if you're feeling aggression, find a solution to let it out, because I do feel like you could feel inhibited from expressing yourself. As I said, there is that sensation of you think somebody knows more, or they're more skilled than you, or something like that, right? Or they're forcing you to just work for them, and whereby now you are forced to just keep it within what you really want to say, right? So there's a flexibility that is required from you, Libra, at this time. Well, I think that is it for Libras at this time. You just need to be Thank you, Libra. Now, when it comes to just the global atmosphere, what would be happening around the world, I do see that it's a high period and very sensible period for leaders, for those in the government and the power, for celebrities, anybody that has a leadership role is under pressure right now. Is a very critical point for them. In fact, from the 15th, and we have seen already, some celebrities being taken, their lives being taken, accidents, towards known people, a lot of just dangerous stuff because this is that period now whereby things are crushing, because remember, we are very close, like the planets are very close towards the end of Scorpio, but then we also have Mars and Sun in the Sagittarius. So both angles, like that angle is heightened with a lot of pressure, with a lot of violence, if we can say like that. And because remember, these are the important places between personal life and the government life, whereby the public figures, they are ruling over the private life of shared life, the 8th house and the 9th house. So there's a lot of points, a lot of pressure there that is being experienced. So obviously they need to take a lot of care. If they are leaders, they need to take a lot of care, because I also do see, as I said in my other video, particularly for the leader of Iran, Mr. Khamenei, especially the 20th and the 21st for him, these are high critical moments, either for him or somebody that is close to him, but this whole period is very critical for him, and particularly also for the leaders of the United States of America or France. I do see some triangle thing happening there between these three countries, whereby there's just a lurking danger for their leaders. So obviously high care is absolutely required now, like no doubt about that. So I also do see that there are communications, particularly with most governments, that must be said or must be discussed to resolve some conflicts, some fights. And most of these conflicts are relying on the law. You could find, maybe there could be some news that are coming up, these news that are coming up this week, particularly regarding maybe the high courts, whereby maybe one country is taking another country to the high courts, of the international high courts, or maybe the UN, something like that, trying to resolve a diplomatic problem. Because I also do know that there's that dispute between South Africa and the United States of America. And I do see, though, that China is continuing to support South Africa, whereas there is some ill intentions or hidden motives between the three countries in general. And I do see that, as I said, the leaders just need to be careful at this time, because it becomes a quite sensitive period for anyone who has a cap of being a leader to somebody, leading a person. So that there's that. And I also do see that there could be intellectual people, and it could be even younger people, that some governments rely on for their advices. However, these advisors of governments or leaders or government bodies, there's information that is missing that they need to still collect. So there could be some planning that is made on unfinished data or missing data. So this is what, lots of missing data, like something is unknown and that's missing. So I do see that between the 19th and the 20th, there could be a story regarding to eye problems, or maybe cruelty, like maybe an injury to the eyes or an injury to the face of somebody very known, somebody very important, right? Or maybe their spouse. So this is highly possible. I do see some danger. Yeah, so it's like somebody is inflicting pain on them. So maybe it could also be somebody who is a spy within the vicinity of that government body, of that leader, and they do this. I also, very military based as well. So it's a military based motive. So then it means it's an enemy country to another country. So that is between the 19th and the 20th. That's what I see here. I also do see, as I said, when it comes to spy teams or people who are working for other governments who are in the spy area, they are actually struggling to collect the information that they need on time. Everything is chaos. So there's a lot of chaos that I see when it comes to data collection, which is very critical, by the way. It's data that is very critical and it's missing. Particularly that would be helpful for Iran or the leaders of Iran at this time. Iran and Russia. So Iran and Russia, that's what I see here. And it could benefit then their enemies, like the US. That missing information and them not knowing what to do or not knowing where to get that information that is critical, it would make them suffer. That's what I see here. And when it comes to India, for an example, critical dates here become the 17th and the 19th. So from today until the 19th, there is communication or contact that must be made with either China, South Africa, or the United States of America. There will be news. There's contact that needs to be made, and is going to be about resources for sure, and it's going to be beneficial towards the employment sector or the career professional of the people of the India. But that contact must be made now about those resources. I do see that it's like there's still an unresolved tension between India and Pakistan somehow. That's what I see, but they both linked. How are they both linked to Iran? So there's that, like they both linked to Iran, or they both have a similar interest regarding to Iran, which I don't understand. But the United States of America knows about this, and China knows about this. This is like high intelligence stuff that I see here. I don't know how. Yeah, this is like high intelligence stuff, like highly classified information or link that I see here. Yeah. definitely for that Iran leader needs to be protected by his people. Not a good period. I also do see that, I'm sorry I'm taking a long time because I'm literally analyzing these countries, sensing the energy. But thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, you don't have to really, but thank you if you're still watching. Okay, so the President of America, Mr. Donald Trump, at this time, particularly, it would have happened already maybe between the 15th and the 17th today, whereby he would have wanted to talk to Russia or the President of Russia, Mr. Putin. I see that. And yeah, but then obviously we would have maybe heard about it now. I mean, okay, it's still the 17th in the morning, so maybe they did talk about it, and I didn't see the news, but that's what I see here, that he would have wanted to. There would have been like that desire to talk about things here, to find the right way to resolve stuff, mechanism to resolve stuff. Or maybe even like about a common foreign country, or foreign, well, I mean, it's always Ukraine, I guess. I don't know. But so when it comes to the 19th and the 20th, when it comes to the 19th and the 22nd, actually, at this time, yeah, same thing. I see the same thing. I sense the same thing. Nothing is different. Like, it doesn't matter how I look at it. It's just the same. It's just the same. So between the 17th and the 19th, Israel and the United States of America, they're going to have a contact or a communication, or something is going to be said in between them, definitely, for sure. And it's about solving a problem, thinking of a problem, that they could have both of them together in part. I see that. And yeah, that's clear. Thank you, and thank you guys. I'll chat to you soon. Ciao.